They don't have any structure. You see what I'm saying? And whether you call the police or don't call the police, it's probably, if you guys are dealing with PTSD, which a lot of women and children have dealt with this after dealing with a spirit of manipulation. If you had to deal with PTSD, this situation is probably going to trigger some symptoms. So that is just a warning, okay? And this is to be expected within the first 2 years of leaving a toxic relationship when it comes to the holidays. It's something about the first 2 years, okay? So, and if it doesn't happen, that's because the person who has the spirit of manipulation, there's something in it for them. If there's something in it for them where they are getting a benefit out of the situation, they won't make any trouble for you, okay? So that's the only way you're not going to have drama, because for some reason, if they cannot have good attention, they will also take the bad, okay? It's twisted, but this is part of that brokenness, okay? Now, let's just say you're dealing with an issue with the children with your ex, and you've decided you're going to go ahead and say, no, he needs to bring them home. I'm going to contact them, okay? He's 2 hours late bringing them home. You've called and had a conversation with him. What I also want to prepare you for is the fact that a smear campaign is brewing. And the smear campaign sounds just the way it is. Think about it. If I take my finger and put on this laptop and smear it, it's not going to look pretty. Or you go to a mirror, you put makeup on it. Next thing you know, you try to make sure you look good, and then you accidentally smear it with your thumb. Okay? And you know what a campaign is, right? You're trying to get people on your side. So when somebody is doing a smear campaign, they are literally trying to make you out to be the bad guy. Okay? And they're going to make everybody there at that scene there with them. Remember, this is a theater production you got going on. Everybody that's there with them are going to be aware of what's going on, but only according to that person. They're not going to have all of the true story of what went down. It's going to be, see, this person didn't let me do this, that, and the other. They're trying to prevent me from spending the holiday with my kids. And the people with them have no clue. They are, in fact, in contempt of the visitation schedule. But they have no clue of this. So the next thing you know, you've got your ex-mother-in-law, ex-father-in-law, ex-sister-in-laws, brother-in-laws, whoever, calling you and begging you to let the children spend time with them for the holidays. They have no clue of what's going on and are not going to be aware. But as I said, be prepared for a smear campaign, because it's your word against theirs. But then remember, if you are trying to prove anything, you're starting to go back into that old mindset. You've already left that relationship. You're reclaiming your power and identity. That's your focus, on healing, so you can reclaim your power and identity and know you're enough. So when you get to the point of trying to prove that you are good enough in something for somebody, you're going back to old season. That's gone. That's no longer the case. That's no longer supposed to be your operating system. Okay? Remember, you were in that marriage for years, and how did it work out for you as far as trying to prove you're enough? It did not. Right? So we got to get to the point of being able to let it go. Okay? Now, say for instance, you went on and let the ex take the kids, right? When they finally dropped them off at home, and then you say this visitation schedule was from 8 to 4. You kept them to 10 o'clock at night. There's no point in talking about how it affected you, because they don't care. And that might sound harsh. They don't care. There's no point in bringing that up. But if you're sticking to what the paper says, right? They can't deny what's on paper, what you guys have gotten written up through that court order. You know, they can't deny that. So if you're saying the visitation schedule was from 8 to 4, you've brought them home at 10 o'clock. If you do this again on another holiday, I am calling the police to pick the children up from where they are at. Okay? So let's just say if you say that to them, and then another holiday comes around, and they do it again, and then you don't follow through with it, they are going to make your life a living nightmare. Whatever you say you're going to do, you have got to do it, okay? Because they'll say, oh, she's all talk and no action. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And then not only is it going to be a holiday thing, every regular visitation schedule is going to get jacked up in the process because of what it was you allowed, and you thought ain't nobody got time for that, but you saw I should have had time for that because now I've entered a whole nother level with them that you didn't even have to enter, okay? Another thing to be prepared for, when I say prepare for the worst, I know it's a lot, but this is preparation for Christmas. Your ex may not show up to get the kids, and in the process, you will have to talk to the kids about, in a loving and supportive way, of course, not bashing your ex, but talking to them in a loving and supportive way about the lack of participation, okay? Unfortunately, people with narcissistic brokenness are only looking for situations that put them in the spotlight. And as sad as it might sound, it's true. So if they don't feel this year that the kids are putting them in the spotlight, there's nothing you can do about it, okay? Remember, and if you want to go back to another video about the spirit of manipulation using you as supply to help you understand what I'm about to talk about, you can. When they purchased a new battery pack before they left you, okay, that person became their major source of supply. You and the kids are no longer number one. Remember, each of those battery packs were labeled with numbers. So you might be like number 13, 14, and 15. You're not number one. So it'd be easier for them to just say, I'm not going to pick up the kids, okay? I'm not showing up for visitation. Or if it's to their advantage, if they can kind of get some supply via proxy, so to speak, through the kids are looking nice for the holiday. I'll have a holiday parade with my family. Then that way I can get supply. But remember, if not, they might not pick them up. And it's not personal. You would think, well, how come it's not personal? It's all about supply, okay? It's all about supply and demand. If you keep that, then it'll keep you going forward. It won't erase the pain. It's not going to make the pain any less because it feels personal even though it's not, okay? Number 5, the 5th thing that you must do when you are dealing with the spirit of manipulation, and this is during the holidays, prepare for a Hoover maneuver. Okay? 1 Corinthians 16 and 13 says, be on your guard. Be on your guard. Stand firm in the faith. Be courageous, okay? So hoovering is when they're trying to get you back as being one of the main battery packs of supply that they have in the drawer of many. So how do you avoid it? How do you avoid being part of a Hoover maneuver? You do not entertain conversations that are unnecessary in regards to yourself or the children, and especially yourself. The longer you're talking, the more of a chance you're going to start giving information that can and will be used against you every single time. Always keep in mind that old saying that goes when they say everything could be used against you in the court of law. They can and they will. Okay? And as soon as you let your guard down and you get comfortable, that's when it's going to happen. Okay? Because you start listening to that voice, and in people's voices and emails and text messages, we don't realize that a lot of times there is energy involved. There's energy in those messages. Okay? There's energy in there, and your spirit can discern it. That energy. Okay? We all have energy we walk around with. Okay? You get amnesia all of a sudden because you got caught up listening to him saying baby this and that and the other, or whatever it is he's trying to say, right? That he's trying to say to you. And the next thing you know, what happens is you'd have forgotten about the fact there was literally almost a murder-suicide situation that happened. You were stalked. Your family was stalked. Your friends were stalked. You didn't forget all about this when you sitting there listening and caught up in conversation with your ex about stuff that they have no business knowing, to be honest with you. No business at all.